Not the point. The point
No,
is
no, I'm
that
not. Can you
Kamala
answer my
was
question, sir?
selected because
What
she
are
was a
JD
woman.
Vance's qualifications?
It doesn't matter because he
Can you
wasn't
answer the
selected
question?
only because of how he looks or who he
What
is.
are JD Vance's qualifications?
Well, Kamala didn't even earn to become vice president, nor did she earn her nomination to be the Democratic nomination. So she never even deserved to be there.
She did become vice president.
Right, but she didn't earn it. She was just selected because she was a woman.
You know, every single person who is vice president was just selected.
Right, but were they selected because of their gender?
Again, I don't think she was selected because of her gender. I think that that was just a characteristic that she had that was being described by Joe Biden. And also, by the way, if she was picked just for her gender, then why wasn't any other woman picked?
Well, she might have been the best woman out of the women that were being selected from, but
Okay, so then that's not just picking her for her gender. That's picking her for her qualifications. Are you saying there are no women qualified to be vice president?
No, of course not.
Okay. You said there's no women qualified to be vice president?
No, I'm saying, of course, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
That's not my point. My point was that she was selected only because she is a woman.
That's not true.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Well, because there was nothing that indicates that it was only because she's a woman.
Okay.
And think of the galaxy.
So
and
if
if that were true, then he would have picked any woman. It's specifically going to mean even if he wanted to pick a woman, that doesn't mean he only picked them because they're a woman, right? Because you can have that characteristic plus other characteristics that you're looking for. But so, right, he just described a characteristic that she had, that she was a woman, not that specifically he was only picking women even.
Right, but so, like, for example, if Biden said that he was only going to pick a woman as his vice president, that would be a problem, right?
He said that his vice president was going to be a woman.
Yeah, so he already made the decision.
And I would not argue that that's a problem.
So what we're
if he wanted to only pick a woman for the presidency or for the vice presidency, I would not have an issue with that, and that would not mean that they were only picked because they were a woman.
Well, just because you don't have an issue with it doesn't make it an issue.
What's the issue with it?
Because he's choosing his vice president based on identity, not qualification.
Wait, I do think that is predicated off of qualifications, and I do think that that would be an important qualification that you can consider. And then also, like, I do think that the same thing is true for JD Vance. Like, Trump is picking JD Vance because he's going to represent someone specifically within a side of the right that he could have got more votes from, right? Like the evangelical side of the right, which is what he wanted to uphold and secure to be able to try to get elected. So let's just clarify. That's quite literally going to be him picking him, not because of his qualifications, but rather because of the benefit that he would provide to his election prospects.
Right.
So do you see how that's not based on qualifications then?
No, it is. It would be based on
not a qualification.
Experience and relationship with the evangelical.
No, that's just how many votes you're going to bring in.
That's why he chose JD.
That's just how many votes you're going to bring in, not whether you're qualified or not. Can you tell me what JD Vance's qualifications are?
That's not the point. The point
No,
is
Matt, can you answer my question, sir? What are JD Vance's qualifications?
It doesn't matter because he
Can you answer the question?
Only because of how he looks or who he is.
What are JD Vance's qualifications?
Again, you're trying to move the goalpost away from the original point. And
no,
you
I'm
can
not.
Try all you want. We're not going to do that.
Do you think that JD Vance has more qualifications than Kamala Harris?
I think JD Vance was selected for something other than his gender or something that he was born with.
Okay, but was it based in qualifications?
What else would it be based on?
Okay, so then tell me, what are his qualifications, and what do you think he has more qualifications than Harris?
Yes, because Harris's number one qualification was being a woman.
That's not true. Now, can you tell me what qualifications he had?
So if that's not true, let's listen to this clip, Parker.
So he's not going to answer the question of the qualifications?
1 second, Parker.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, give me a second, sorry.
Can you answer the question? What qualifications does JD Vance have?
Well, no, I think we should talk about Joe Biden talking about how he's going to...
We can talk about that in a second. I would love to hear the answer to the question. What qualifications does JD Vance have?
So why would we move topics whenever we originally...
So he's just going to he's just going to wait till he can look it up. You're going to look it up, aren't you? You're going to look up all the answers? Why can't you just answer the question?
I don't need to look up anything. I'm trying to play...
Then look it up. Then answer the question.
You're moving the goalpost.
I'm not moving the goalpost.
You're not going to play this game.
You are specifically saying that she wasn't qualified and that her only qualifications was being a woman. So I'm asking you a basic question. What were the qualifications that JD Vance has? Because do you think he has more qualifications?
Of course.
Okay, so then answer the question. What qualifications?
But that's irrelevant what I think.
Okay, sir, if you don't want to answer any questions, I'll just go to the next person. I'm not going to beg you to answer my questions.
You lost. You lost.
I'm giving you the ability to answer my question, sir. There's plenty of time you can have in the conversation to ask me any questions, to bring up whatever information you would like. I'm just asking you a simple question that's relative to the point that you brought up. You're making a claim that she was only picked because she's a woman and not because of her qualifications, and I'm claiming she has more qualifications than JD Vance. And you don't say that specifically about JD Vance. That's not what Joe Biden said. And even if that no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Then play the clip.
How much do you want to bet, Parker?
Play the clip.
Okay, give me 2 seconds to pull it up. Stop trying to move the goalpost. My God, go to somebody else if you need to. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, make your point, and then can I ask my question after?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. No need to crash out. Trey, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate YouTube Super Chat. Thank you very much. What's up?
You're the one trying to move the goalpost and move on.
That's not me moving the goalpost. It's relevant to the question and to the conversation we're having.
No,
and I explained how it was relevant to the question, the conversation we were having. And I'm sorry that it hurt your feelings.
Parker, JD's qualifications as VP is entirely irrelevant to the point that Kamala was selected to be VP for being a woman.
I had already disproved that point, and then I asked you a question specifically to specify because you tried to make the claim that she didn't have qualifications. So I'm doing is a comparison, a comparative analysis of the person who's your side's vice president versus the comparison of my side's vice president to show you that actually she has more qualifications to be vice president than Vance does.
Okay, so that's a different conversation. Anyway, are you ready, Parker?
Because you were claiming that she was unqualified. I can't hear it. Can you agree that you were claiming that she was unqualified?
That's not the point either, Parker.
So you weren't claiming that?
It's irrelevant to the point that I'm making, Parker.
Sir, is that what you were claiming? You were claiming that she was unqualified?
Parker, the claim is that Kamala Harris was selected primarily because she is a woman.
Wait, now it's you said only because she's a woman. Now you're saying primarily? Why'd you change that?
Okay, they're synonymous, but okay, fine.
They're not. They are not synonymous. Sure. Primarily and only are not synonymous.
Sure, I can see the point. There were multiple reasons Kamala Harris was selected vice president. Number one of them being she's a woman.
I don't think number one was because of that. And even if that was the case, that doesn't mean that she's not qualified.
Okay, repeat that.
Yeah, that could be a reason, and it doesn't mean that she's not qualified, but it wasn't the reason. It wasn't number one.
Okay, well, do me a favor. I'm having some trouble playing the clip on my side, so just go to YouTube, and it's Biden says he'll choose a woman as his running mate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I already claimed he said earlier.
Right, so play the clip.
That's not him saying That's not him saying he's only going to pick her because she's a woman. That's him specifically claiming that he picked someone who is a woman, describing a characteristic that she has after he picked her.
If I'm elected president, have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts. Will be
that's a court. The courts, dude. Yeah, holy shit, that's the courts.
Representation now. It's long overdue. Secondly, if I'm elected president, my cabinet, my administration will look like the country. And I commit that I will, in fact, I'll pick a woman to be vice president. There are a number of women who are qualified to be president tomorrow. I would pick a woman to be my vice president.
Mr. Vice President.
So he's not saying that because they're not qualified. He's simply describing the characteristics of an individual who is qualified.
The nomination will be a woman.
Yeah.
So he's describing characteristics of individuals who are qualified, not that he's only picking them because they're a woman.
So we're supposed to believe that his entire short list.
So he said he has specific individuals who are qualified women that he has in the top of his head that he would think as individuals or candidates for vice president. Okay. So he's just describing characteristics of individuals that he was considering for vice president, not saying he's only picked them because they're a woman. He's simply saying he's going to pick a woman because he thinks that they are qualified. And he also wants his administration to accurately reflect the country.
That's you're just trying to rebrand what he said. He said
by the way, this is what I've said since the very beginning.
He committed to picking a woman. He didn't commit to saying I have a woman already picked. He committed to picking a woman. He said his own words, I commit to picking a woman as my running mate. And then the debater even clarified, and he said yes. He didn't say a specific woman. He said in general that he will pick a woman.
Yeah, he said he had a bunch of qualified women specifically that he knew was good for that position, and he said that he would pick one of those women. Not that he would only pick women specifically, but that he would inevitably pick those women, or sorry, not only pick women because they're women, but he would pick those women because they're qualified. That's what he was saying.
Okay, so there's qualified men too. What does gender have anything to do with it?
Yeah, but he's simply saying that he's going to pick a qualified woman to describe to individuals that that's who he's going to pick. Not that specifically he's only willing to pick a woman. Now again, I can even concede to this terminology, and I can say, yeah, he was only willing to pick a woman, and that still doesn't mean anything's wrong here.
Yes, it does. It means
No,
he's
that
making his
doesn't.
decisions based on identity, which ironically Kamala Harris did the same thing.
I don't think that
Well,
there's
not
any. I don't
identity.
think
Well,
there's
yeah,
any
actually, yeah,
issue
identity.
with wanting more representation of women within politics.
Because nobody wants anyone leading their country that's making their decisions based on how someone was born.
So I actually do think that people want representation within politics. I would vote for that.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that strategy ended up with Kamala winning no swing states, lost the popular vote in every House of Congress. So how did that go for you?
So I think that's because people bought the misinformation associated with Donald Trump and he claiming the lies about saying the Biden administration caused inflation and it was doing stuff relating to immigration with open borders and all of the fear mongering they did about trans people. And I think that people bought the misinformation associated with that. I think that those things can change. And also there are plenty of campaigns specifically where individuals were picked that were women, and it obviously was very positive around the entire world and it was beneficial to their campaign. So I think it's ridiculous for you to argue that any representation, right, being something that's prioritized is a harmful thing. Again, I don't think that that's entailed specifically by this argument, but even if we do concede and say that this was true, that this is specifically the only context, that doesn't mean that there weren't any qualified individuals that would meet that criteria, and I think that's totally reasonable.
That
And
doesn't
actually,
matter.
I mean,
Again, everything you just said doesn't matter. If his decision is based on whether somebody's a woman or not is the first question he asks when deciding if they need the job or not, that's not a leader.
And by the way, did you know that the percentage that she lost by is less than the percent that Trump lost by in 2020?
But she still lost in every single
so
swing
then-
state. How many swing states did Trump get?
Wait, the regardless, the point is that it was still closer in terms of percentage basis.
Right, but every single state that votes blue and red, they make a decision every election based on the candidate. They don't just vote based on culture like California or Georgia. She lost every single one
That's
of
such a
those.
ridiculous thing to argue.
Okay,
They
that's
don't
fine.
vote based on
Refute
culture.
it.
I mean, I think you could argue that most places around the U.S. do vote within that similar sense. Like there are red areas and there are blue areas, and do they vote
Right.
predicated off of culture that exists in those areas, and that reinforces the
Right.
culture that exists in those areas?
That's what I said. Welcome to the conversation.
Okay, I was just trying to clarify.
You didn't, I mean, clarify for yourself. I thought I was pretty clear the first time. You seem to have gotten it.
Okay, I don't think that's even what you were arguing before.
That's clearly what I said.
I don't think it was.
Culture-based voting, such as California and Georgia. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, but you were trying to act like other places don't do it.
That's why they're called swing states, Parker. They swing.
California is not a swing state.
You're right. That was an example used for culture-based voting. Please try to keep up,
Georgia's
Parker.
a swing state.
No, it's not.
Yes,
because
it was.
Pete Buttigieg won a special election. Calm down.
No, because Biden won 2020.
Okay. And what did Georgia vote? 2016, 2012,
Zeus, thank you for the Viking hammer.
2008,
We're just saying
2000.
for right now. We're saying for right now it's a swing state because of the fact that it went to blue and then it went to red.
Right, but that needs to happen more than one time for it to be considered a swing state. Georgia's still considered a red state. You can cope and think it's purple. That's fine.
I think that when I was
historically,
referencing
you're
swing
wrong.
state, I'm referencing the modern elections, the past few people. I think I would consider it swing in this context. If you don't
Sure,
want to
you're
consider it
trying to-
swing, that's fine. I don't care.
You're trying to define Georgia's political. You're trying to define Georgia's.
That's just how I was using the term. That's what I thought you were referencing. You can
The last
you
2
can
years,
stop being
4
pompous and
years
you can just
top?
explain what you mean.
Explain what? What do you need explained, Parker?
Explain what you mean. Your argument.
And
Make your argument.
Kamala was selected because she was a woman.
Okay, let's say that's true. Why is that a bad thing? I think Trump
Because she
Trump
didn't
selected
deserve
JD
it.
Vance because he's a white man.
Okay, show me Trump saying that.
Well, I don't need to do that. I think that Trump didn't even
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Prove your claim. You claim that he picked him because he's a white man. Prove it.
I think he's trying to represent specifically the white evangelical vote, right? I think that's very obvious. That's what he's trying to represent. That's where he was looking for in terms of votes. I don't think that you even need to establish a particular clip of him saying it in order to be able to come up with a determination of that. Do you think that he would have picked a woman?
Well, what's interesting is.
Do you think he would have picked a
whenever I
woman? Do you
say
think he
that
would have
Kamala was-
picked someone who wasn't white? Do you think he would have picked someone outside of that context?
Yes, I think you would pick the most qualified person.
I
but
think
hold on
he
one
picked
second.
I think he picked JD Vance because he's a white man who's Christian
I
and
know
would
you
help
do, but the
secure that
interesting
aspect
thing
of his
is-
base.
The interesting thing is, Parker, whenever I say that Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris, it's because of what Joe Biden said. Whenever you say Trump picked JD, all of your sentences start with "you think." What you think, Parker, doesn't matter.
Wait, but also it is based on what you think and interpret his position to be.
No.
Because when I interpret what he said,
Joe Biden
I
said it
interpret it
himself.
differently than you do. I interpret it as he's saying that he has a bunch of
Right.
people that are already picked that happen
You're
to be
rebranding
qualified
what he
women,
said.
and that he was going to pick one of those qualified women that he had already thought about picking.
You're rebranding what he said, and
I've
try
said
and
this
make it
from the
into
very
something completely
beginning.
Entirely different. And then
I've
you
said
take
this from the very
situation-
beginning.
And then
Oh
you
wait,
take the
actually,
situation-
wait. Do you think
What,
something would be a
Parker?
swing state if they have 2 Democratic senators but maybe vote Republican?
Like Pennsylvania with John Fetterman.
Would that be a swing state?
Is Pennsylvania considered a swing state?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. It is.
So that's actually Georgia. Georgia has 2 Democratic senators.
Right, which I already said Pete Buttigieg based on the special election, which Democrats use
Pete
pandemic
Buttigieg
relief
isn't
funds in order
in the
to buy
Georgia
that election.
government. I don't know where you're getting that from.
It-
You're trying to
Google's
go to
your
the
friend,
you're trying to go to the primaries, which Pete Buttigieg performed well in like Iowa. I don't know if he performed well in Georgia.
Google's your friend, Parker.
I mean, would you like to cite a source?
Google, yeah, feel free.
Google's a search engine, not a source, sir.
Yeah, it'll find you sources. That's kind of how search
So
engines
why
work.
don't you do that to find the source that you're trying to cite?
Because you're the one that doesn't know it. Prove me wrong.
You're the one claiming it.
You're the one that claimed Trump picked JD because he's white with nothing more than your thoughts. Come on now.
Well, because you do the same thing, because it's your interpretation.
No, I brought up a Biden saying it himself. Show me Trump saying he picked JD because he's white. I'll wait.
No. So again, this isn't what you brought up was Joe Biden saying that there is a group of qualified women that he was considering, and that he would pick one of those women, given that he was going to be president of the United States or the presidential
No.
nominee. That does not
Again,
mean
you're
that
just
he was
poorly
only
trying to
willing to
rebrand
pick
it.
women,
He
right?
said,
Or
I
that
can play it
he
for you.
only picked because they're women, right?
He
That is
said
again
he's
ridiculous to
committing
argue.
to picking
Like I had
a
already
woman.
gone through. Can you please shut the fuck up? Like I had already
No,
gone.
you're just
like
trying to rebrand.
Like I already
You know
explained
you
this.
lose
More.
this.
Your
I
whole
love
argument
watching you
here.
squirm.
I like how his whole
love
argument
it.
here is like totally semantic, right? Like it's
you're
actually
the one
nothing
that's
like
trying
meaningful.
To make your emotions be facts, and they're not. They never will be.
No, these are your emotions. Your emotions that like you don't like the
No.
fact that the vice president's a
I
woman.
played Biden's words, so Biden's words are my emotions. Explain that.
No, it's your emotions about how you interpret those words.
They're literally, whenever he says he's going to pick a woman VP, I believe him that he's going to pick a woman VP.
Yeah, and I've clarified multiple times that what he means in this circumstance is that he has a set of qualified women, which is what exactly he said, that he was picking from, and that he was going to pick one of those women. Not that he was only picking them because they're women, but rather that he had a group of people that he was going to pick that happened to all be women.
Okay,
that are
but
qualified.
The fact that there are qualified women among a list of VP candidates can be true, while also him saying he's only going to pick a woman, which he did say, and both can be true.
Well,
He
those could just
literally
be the ones
removed-
that he's considering, and it might not be just because they're a woman. It could be because they're the most qualified candidates.
So then, like I said at the
If
beginning,
the most qualified
your
candidates
belief is
happen,
that
if the most qualified candidates happen to be women, and he says that I'm going to pick a woman because the most qualified candidates happen to be a woman, does that mean he's only willing to pick a woman, or does that mean that women are the most qualified candidates?
No, it means that the Democratic Party likes to play identity politics, and that's why you got Hillary Clinton in 2016.
No, you're
and
just
you tried to
pivoting.
ride
Are going to
that wave
pivot.
by
This is
picking
just
another woman in
indicating that
2020.
women are the most qualified candidates, sir.
That's not what he said, though.
I think that's
He
what
said
he's
he's
saying.
going to pick a woman. There wouldn't be any issue if he said he was picking the most qualified candidate, but that's not what he said, is it? He said there are qualified women, and he's going to pick a woman. That doesn't make them the most qualified.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying is that the most qualified candidate is a woman. When you
Again,
so
that's
can you
you
tell
thinking.
me
He didn't say that.
when you say qualifications, right? Can you tell me what you think qualifications are?
It's going to change from every single person, situation, who's running, what they need, what they don't need. So, no, I can't.
How about this? Can you tell me what JD Vance's qualifications are?
Again, that's you trying to move the goalpost again. It's entirely irrelevant.
Let me know whenever we can have that conversation. How long do I have to wait till we can talk about that?
I don't.
'Cause it's
I've
been
trying
about
to have my
20
original
minutes. So,
conversation since I
so
first
at what
started, so
point
you
can we
tell me,
talk about
Parker.
that? Let me know.
I'm just waiting on you to admit
How
you were
long should I
wrong.
wait for that?
You tell me.
I'm asking you because you're the one saying that we
No,
can't
I'm-
talk about it yet.
Yeah, and you're the one that's rebranding everything that people are saying.
I'm not
regardless of
rebranding it.
nothing
I'm
other
telling
than
you
your
exactly what he
emotions.
said and what I think he said.
You have nothing to back it up other than your babbling.
You have nothing
emotions.
to back it up except for what you think he said in terms of the
Biden's
interpretation.
direct quotes, buddy.
Yeah, but that's in your interpretation of his quote, and
Cry
I take a
about
different
it,
interpretation
pal.
of his quote. You can cry about
And
it.
then my
You're the one
favorite
crashing
part
out and
is-
not answering my
Who's
questions.
crashing out, little baby? Listen.
You're the one not answering my question.
The part
So would
that
you like
I
to
love
answer my
is
question, sir?
Not only was she selected,
How about this? Would you like to answer my question? You
Now
can
you're
choose to
gonna
answer my
mute me because
question.
You're losing.
No, you're going to answer my
I can't
question.
wait to.
I've gone 20 minutes. I'd love for you to answer the question now.
I can't wait to get this.
What
on.
are JD Vance's qualifications?
Desperately moving that goalpost.
What are
He's
JD Vance's
desperate.
qualifications?
It doesn't matter because his qualifications wasn't the fact that he's a
What
man.
are his qualifications?
Not because he's a man or he's white like you believe.
What are his qualifications?
Not because he's a man
So
or
then
he's
tell me
white
what
like
his
you believe.
qualifications are, sir.
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not. I'm asking you. Answer the
It
question.
is.
What are his qualifications?
Because, he was chose based on his merits.
So then tell me, what are his merits?
That's irrelevant whether I
No,
know
no,
what his
you said he has merits. So what are his merits?
Prove that he wasn't chosen on his merits.
You have to tell me what his merits are. You're claiming
You
his
have
merit.
to prove that he wasn't chosen on
Sir,
his
you
merits.
just
Why
claimed
would I
he has
need to defend that
you just
position?
claimed he has merit. What are his merits?
I don't. Yeah, prove that he doesn't. Prove that he
You
was
said
chosen for.
dude, this is how claims work. You made the positive claim he has merits. You have to justify that positive claim. You have to provide evidence for it. You can't say, oh, prove that he doesn't have merit. You're the one who has to claim that he has merits because you are the one who claimed he has merits. So provide evidence for that claim you made.
So unless you're arguing with a toddler, whenever you disagree with
I am
someone, you should
arguing
have
with a
context
toddler right
back for
now,
them
and you're
to
throwing a
reply to.
temper
You don't
tantrum
get
instead of answering my question.
You don't get to simply say I don't believe you.
You're acting
I
like
say
a toddler
JD
right now. You're acting like a toddler. Answer the question.
JD Vance was selected based on his merits. Do you have anything to show otherwise?
What are his merits?
Do you have anything to show that he
What
wasn't
are
chosen
his
based on
merits?
It's again irrelevant.
He can't answer the question. You know that
Because
you
I don't
can't
need
answer
to.
it.
I
Because
don't
you know
need
that you're
to.
wrong.
Because I know I don't need to.
You know that you're wrong.
I don't need to play your game of moving.
You know that you're
goalposts,
wrong.
Parker. You lose.
You've already lost because you can't answer this question. I've answered
I
every
don't
question
need
you brought
to.
up. I've engaged the
That's-
conversation that you brought up, but you failed
you
to engage
didn't.
with any conversation that I brought up because you know that if you do engage the conversation that I've brought up, that you're going to lose.
They're not synonymous, Parker. I'm saying she
so
was chosen
answer the
based
question.
primarily on something other than her
Answer
merits,
the
and I can prove
question.
it, Parker.
Answer the
She was-
question.
She was chosen.
Answer
based on
the question.
something.
Answer
other
the
than her
question, sir.
merits.
Can you answer
I
the
can prove
question?
that.
Can you answer the question?
I don't need to, Parker.
Just answer it. You're scared.
Cry
How
all
scared are
day.
you?
I
You're
don't
so
need
scared.
the
You're the one
answer.
you're the one crying and not answering it.
It's irrelevant.
It's
Do you
not
understand that
irrelevant.
argument? Address that argument that your question's irrelevant.
It is not irrelevant because it's very relevant to the conversation you brought up. You said that she doesn't have
Right.
merit, or you said that JD Vance has merit. I asked you, what merit?
And I asked you, what proof do you have that he wasn't selected based on the merit? Regardless.
Wait,
of what
can I
merit
get an
is or
answer to the
isn't
question?
theirs.
You said he has merit. I'm just asking you what merit, and you're saying it's not relevant?
Right.
You said that he has merit. I'm just asking you what merit.
Well, what proof do you have that he wasn't chosen based on his
Can I
merit?
give an answer? What merit?
Can you give me one? Why do I need to answer that
Why?
question? What relevance does it
Because
have?
I'm asked you the question first, sir.
Okay, because I was first, and you don't get to say I don't believe you, and then I'm supposed to back up my claim, and that's all you have to say. That's lazy and disingenuous and bad faith. If you have a reason to believe he was chosen for something other than his merits, I'm waiting.
I have no reason other than that. Now, can you answer my question?
No, because as you just said, there's no reason to.
Can you tell me what the merit is?
Can you tell me the reason you don't think he has merits, or he was chosen on something other than his merits?
So this guy is just constantly never going to answer a question.
Yes, because
You're answering
there's no
questions with
reason to,
questions.
Parker.
Do you just want to do this the whole time? Like, this is incredibly bad faith and insufferable.
I don't. This is great for me. Again, I can't wait to get this clip off YouTube. You are losing horribly, buddy.
Says the one who won't answer a question. I think everyone's going to be like, why wouldn't you answer the question? Like, they could be like, I agree with you, but like, why wouldn't you answer the question? Like, at some point, you should just answer the question, right?
Because
For
I
the productive
simply
flow of the
don't need to allow
conversation.
the
At some
conversation.
point, it just seems like you're acting childish. At some point, it seems like you're not really trying to have good faith conversation. Instead, you're just trying to clip me for your YouTube
No.
with 5 subscribers.
You're trying to move the goalpost in an area that you're more comfortable, and I have no desire to allow
I'm
you
not
to do
moving the
that.
goalposts. I've already talked about what we have asked you. So, is there like a certain point where like we'll be done talking about that, and where I can then ask my question because you brought this up, and I just want to ask questions.
Well, so my point is that she was picked on something other than merit, and so you're trying to shine that over to JD, and I'm just wondering what proof you have. Of
I happen to disagree with you. I explained why I disagree. Now, can I
well,
ask
Biden,
you a
so
question?
You disagree with Biden's direct quotes. Are you saying he has dementia? Maybe he didn't know what he was saying.
Well, I do think that Biden has cognitive decline, not dementia. But so
no
yeah,
shit.
I'm going to argue in this situation. Biden had no clue what he was saying right there. He had cognitive decline. Now, will you answer my question?
Do you know how scary it is? That's a valid argument to make of a previous president that you supported.
Well, that's also true to Trump. So can you answer the question? That's also true to
That's
Trump.
an
And
actual
also,
valid argument that you can make. Like, of course, I would normally like to argue back, but
I'm
like,
only saying that
that's
to get you to
actually
move on. Can you
valid.
like engage? Can you
that's
engage now?
crazy. Can you imagine?
So what
That's
what
a
is
valid
so what is
defense. Oh,
so
hey,
what
my
is
president has
the
dementia,
merit
he
that
didn't know
JD
what he
Vance
was
has?
saying.
So what's the merit JD Vance has?
Well, the problem is if Biden had dementia then, and then he later hand-selected Kamala without.
So
a
do you see how he's
primary
doing
for the
everything but
Democratic
answering the
Party,
question?
That's a bit of an issue.
So what qualifications does JD Vance have? What
Well,
merits?
he wasn't selected based on what he was born with.
No, that's not describing what he has.
Well, that's
So what
important to
merits?
me. That's
Can you
a merit
describe
to
any
me.
of the merits? I could tell you what the merits are of Kamala Harris. Can you tell me what the merits are of JD Vance?
But the problem is the merits don't matter whenever the primary purpose of Kamala being selected wasn't.
That's a lot of words for you don't want to answer my question.
That wasn't very.
That's a
many
lot of words for
Parker.
you're scared to engage in a dialogue because you'll know you'll lose. That's a
If you
lot of
think that's a
words
lot
for
of
the
words,
fact that
how
you've
often do
lost
you
the
read a book?
conversation. That's a lot of words for you've been fact-checked, for you've been destroyed in this conversation, you've been embarrassed, and you can't
made
answer
up
a
your
basic
emotions
question.
the entire
You
time. All
literally
talking
have
about
yet to
facts
answer
is
this
anybody.
question. I'm waiting for you
I
to
don't
answer
need
the
to.
question
I don't need to.
because you're scared.
You have no proof that he was
right.
chosen for anything
All
other
right, we're
than
just going to
those
put him in
merits.
timeout. Mike, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much on PayPal. I really appreciate it, Mike. Thank you so much. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much, Mike. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section. We'll think about that. Thank you. Kelsey, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much on Venmo. I really appreciate it. Jaden as well. Thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's literally based on interpretation, but he's unwilling to acknowledge it. Ari, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, he's such a gaslighter. It's ridiculous. And he's unwilling to engage in the conversation simply because he knows that he's going to lose on that point. Stefan, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. Tyler, thank you for the $1. Kai, thank you so much for the $10. I don't know if my sanity will ever be able to be okay at this point. This guy's nuts. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving someone an opportunity instead of railroading. Only the people previously chosen is a smart decision in politics. Voters can be gained from those demographics. Being represented doesn't make said person less qualified. Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Gohi, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $25. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you thank all the donors for sending me money?
So let's just concede the
Can you,
point.
can you
Let's say
thank
JD
Thomas for sending me $20 on YouTube Super Chat? For JD Vance has no qualifications other than being a sycophant? Thank you so much.
Sure, let's go with that. That's his merits. He's a sycophant.
Wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
so just to clarify, that was like my point, right?
Sure.
You just proved my point.
I mean, but even if he was selected for that, that's still a better reason why Kamala was selected.
That's identity.
No, that's who you are, not what you are.
Wait, that's who you are, right?
Right. That's a
He
personality.
is a
versus
sycophant,
gender.
right?
That would be a personality versus gender. Surely you know the difference. One you're born with, one's
Wait,
created.
so to clarify, but like that's a part of his identity. Personality is a part of your identity, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so thanks for the concession.
So one you're born with and one you create throughout your life.
They're both identity. Nice for the concession. Thank you.
Who
Can we get some
cares?
W's in the
There's a
comment section,
difference.
everybody? Thank you for the concession. Can we get some
You
baby
not
bottles in
knowing
the
the
comments
difference
because he's
in
going
the
to
two
sit
is
here
not
and
a gotcha
cry and
part.
not acknowledge the fact that he just conceded. So are you
thank
going to put that in your YouTube video?
Of course. Parker,
Oh, okay.
you
So
still
everyone in the
can't
comment
answer the
section is
fact
going to be
that
laughing at the fact that you conceded. Thank you very much.
Kamala was selected because she's a woman, and then you said Biden
And
had
Trump
dementia,
and
he didn't know what
JD
he
Vance was
saying.
selected because he's a sycophant.
That's fine. I'll concede that. Sure. I don't even
Okay.
know what that word means. We'll go with it.
You don't know what that word means.
No.
Okay.
Do you expect everyone to know everything? I was actually watching. a
No, I
debate
mean you're the
yesterday
one
with Dean.
claiming it's applicable to him, but you didn't even know what it meant.
Well, Dean didn't know what GDP formula was. Does that mean all of his opinions about economy are completely irrelevant?
Oh, I don't think most people know what the GDP equation is. The GDP
Okay,
equation
so most people
is a
can
very
define
niche thing.
psychopath? So most people can define a psychopath?
Sycophant, if you're using the term.
Sycophant?
If you're using the term sycophant, it would make sense to use the definition of it. Now, Dean would be able to tell you that GDP means gross domestic product. Okay, but
I
just
said
because
the
he can't
formula
tell
of
you
GDP,
that
Parker.
wait, can you tell me
Parker,
what the
do you
GDP
even know
formula
the
is?
formula for GDP?
I do actually.
Go ahead.
It's going to be consumer spending, investment, government spending, net exports.
Correct. So do you think that somebody that doesn't know that formula, would their opinions about the economy be worthless, or would it
No.
matter at all? Okay, so why are you dragging me over a definition of psychopath?
I'm not. I was simply just saying because you just didn't know, it didn't make sense for you to apply that definition.
I was just conceding whatever.
Can I
ridiculous
hear
point
what
we're
you
trying to
actually
make.
think his qualifications are or his merits are? Like, can we just like genuinely sit for a conversation and like have a conversation for a second?
But you're missing the point because it's irrelevant. Even if I concede, let's
Okay,
just
so
skip
just
to the point.
let me know what you want to
Kamala
talk
has
about.
better merit.
Like, cause I don't think we're having a productive conversation at all, and I think you're
I'm
purposely
conceding
doing
your
that.
points, and you're still losing. We can say Kamala
You're
has
just
better
unwilling to
merits.
engage in a conversation.
Kamala has better merits. So what? What's the point?
Okay, so then she's more qualified than JD Vance.
She
So then
might
you can't cry about her being not qualified.
It doesn't matter if she is or isn't, because I can look to Biden's quote and say, well, she was probably only picked because she's a woman, which is
You know
similar
what?
to
You know what?
Charlie
Let's
Kirk.
just if I just
It's
say
the
that
same
if
thing
I
as
say that was
Charlie
true, will
Kirk's
you like
quote
shut up
about a
and stop
black
talking about this,
pilot.
and we'll be able to move on with the conversation?
It's the same theme as Charlie Kirk's comment about a black pilot. It's the exact same thing.
I don't think you're going to be able to move on from this, right? I'm
Well, I'm
assuming
winning.
that
Why
this
would
this
I?
won't go on from this. So should I just move on to the next person and stop wasting
Parker, when
my time?
you can't win your debate when someone's conceding all your points, that's when you know you're wrong, bud.
This is all nonsense and yap. Like no one's taking you seriously right now. Like if
I'm
you'd like to
conceding
actually have
all
a
of your
conversation with me,
points,
I'm
and you're still
I'm
losing.
seriously leaving it open right now for you to have the conversation. But all you've done this entire thing is like be super insufferable and act like a child. So
And the
if you
funny
want to
thing
have
is
a
we didn't even-
conversation, we can do it. But like this is not that.
We didn't even get to the part where Kamala completely skipped a primary and was hand-selected by someone you self-described as having dementia.
So I didn't say he had dementia. I explicitly said
Yes,
he
you
didn't
did.
have dementia. I said
So
he had
it'll be in the
cognitive
clip,
decline.
bud.
I said he
It'll
had
be in the
cognitive
clip.
decline.
Don't worry, you said that.
Do you want to bet?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much?
It'll be in the clip. That you said Biden had dementia, didn't know what he was talking about when he said he was picking a woman? Sure,
I said
whatever
he
you
didn't
want.
have dementia, and I said that he specifically that he had cognitive decline.
Sure.
That's what I said. So do you want to bet?
It's sure, Parker.
How much?
As much as you want, Parker.
$1,000.
Sure.
Okay, you owe me $1,000. I said that he
Sure.
doesn't have dementia.
We'll look at it later, but I mean, they're one and the same
No.
regardless. When somebody's saying
I can
somebody
go
has
back and
dementia,
play it
they're
if you're going to
talking
pay
about
up.
cognitive.
Let's just go back and play it.
Again, if somebody says somebody has dementia, they're saying they have cognitive decline. They're one and the same.
That's not the same. Wait.
It
I
is.
don't use those terms the same. You just conceded.
Okay. Well, that's how
Those are not the
I
same
use
thing.
dementia.
Wait, I explicitly said in the bet there that I said that he had cognitive decline, not that he had dementia, and I specified that.
I think they're synonymous.
They're not. I didn't use them synonymously. So it would be predicated off the way that I'm using the term, not the way that you're using the term.
Well, dementia is a syndrome characterized by a decline in cognitive function, affecting memory, thinking, behavior, and the ability to perform everyday activities. So, I mean, that's cognitive decline, if you ask me.
But I don't think like cognitive decline relating to age is the same as dementia. Like you can acknowledge that
there
someone
is
has
no correlation
Wait,
between
can
dementia
you
and age.
acknowledge that someone has cognitively declined with old age, but it's not due to dementia?
No.
What? You don't
Dementia
think that?
is a cognitive decline.
Wait, pause.
Dementia is a description of cognitive decline. It's not a special
No,
type
no,
of
no, no,
cognitive
no, no,
decline.
no. So
There's multiple
cognitive
different
decline.
types of dementia,
Co-
including
cog-
geriatric
listen,
dementia,
listen,
which is
listen.
simply just age
Listen.
dementia.
Listen, cognitive decline is an important part of dementia, but it's not the only aspect of dementia, and having cognitive decline is not evidence of having dementia. So apparently everyone who's old, because they're older, has dementia? Like, for example, my grandma, you might be able to say that she's had some cognitive decline because when she was younger, she was a little bit more mentally there, for example. That doesn't mean she has dementia.
Dementia is literally a cognitive decline, Parker.
It's
That's
not
what
just
dementia
cognitive
is.
decline, though.
That's primarily what dementia is. And
Wait,
then
wait,
that
that's an
cognitive
important
decline
part of
creates
dementia,
other
but it's
things,
not
Parker.
just cognitive decline alone.
Okay, but again, the way I
Do you agree that they're
see
not
them is
synonymous? Do you agree that they're not synonymous?
No, that's the way I use them. And if you
Wait,
look at
I
the
don't. Wait.
definition-
I clarified. I
define
don't use them that.
dementia.
Wait, I literally
Define-
clarified. I clarified. I don't use them that way.
Okay, that's your personal definition. What's the actual definition of dementia?
That's
Can you look
defined
that
by
up for
doctors.
us?
That's defined by doctors and medical professionals.
And Google will do it for you too.
The
Would you like to
medical,
look
the
it up?
medical definition and diagnosis for dementia does not include cognitive decline because then everyone who is older who has had cognitive decline then has dementia, which would make no sense.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, but the rates of dementia are extremely higher in older people, and there's probably correlation.
But it's
there.
not
if
every
you wanna
old
look up
person.
The definition,
But it's not
go
every old
ahead.
person, sir.
I didn't say it was every, but again, if
Yeah,
you want
but,
to look
like,
up the definition of dementia, go ahead.
I already have.
Parker, directly, because you don't want to look up the definition. Here it is. What is dementia? Dementia is not a single disease, but a general term that describes a range of symptoms associated with a decline in cognitive function, severe enough to interfere with daily life.
Severe
such
enough.
as- What?
Severe enough. I like how he
Right,
didn't read
so-
the second part of the second part of the definition, and he somehow acts
Right.
like it's a dub. You just conceded. Thank
then-
you very much. So it's not just
the-
cognitive decline; it's cognitive decline severe enough to then create these other symptoms. Thank you
Right,
very
so
much.
such
You
as
are incredibly
when you're
stupid. You
at a
didn't even read the
debate,
full
you don't know what
definition.
you're saying?
You didn't even read the full definition, and you thought you were owning me, dude. I just can't
cut
even
me
believe
off.
this guy is so embarrassing.
You're the one embarrassing, Parker.
How are
cut
you
me
this
off,
em-
and
how
then
are you
say
gonna be
I
this
didn't finish the
embarrassing, bro?
definition. Are you okay?
It sounds like you're not. You owe me $1,000.
Are you okay, bro?
You owe me $1,000. You aren't.
The projection is insane. I was literally in the middle of reading. You cut me off and then claimed
So
I
read the
didn't
full
want to
thing.
finish it.
No, you
What?
stopped, and then I spoke, and then you started speaking.
Are you okay?
You had stopped.
Have you been hitting your pen a little hard, bro?
I do, but not hard
And
enough,
actually,
apparently.
Speaking of which, you realize Biden was a
Speaking of
massive
which, not hard
failure
enough.
for marijuana, right? Biden was a massive letdown.
God damn it, dude! You can't. Do you have a second account? You
Yeah.
can't say that. You can't say that on TikTok. It's TOS. Do you have a second account? I have to kick you.
What is?
Do you have a second account? You can't say that. You can't say M drug.
They what?
You can't say M drug.
Oh my God.
So what?
Okay.
What is your other account? Tell me, or I'll have to kick you before you tell me.
I don't have another account, Parker.
Okay. Well, then you can come up a different day when you're not going to have that sort of TOS violation.